Hello, Kelly. So this is my reflection for the English to ASL assignment. So with this one, I know, and we talked on the phone, obviously I remember that, today, and I had questions about the SLFs from English to ASL because it is a lot more challenging to, it's kind of like, when I was younger, my mom always told me when I was writing papers to read it backwards, because read the paper like word for word backwards, because your brain is used to seeing that pattern of words in that order, and it won't catch stuff that's wrong. It won't catch spelling errors. It won't catch grammatical errors and all that stuff. So to edit your own paper, you have to read it backwards. That's why it's so much more beneficial for other people to edit your stuff, because their brain isn't already pre-wired to see that or hear that. And that same idea goes for English in general versus ASL, because we're so used to hearing it and we're so used to processing it that we don't break it down like we do ASL, because we learned ASL if the base is here, we learned it like this, and with English we kind of started here at a conversational level, then in school went back down, and then kind of went back up, and so it's definitely a different system. So for this video, it's a very dry topic, but it's definitely an easy step-by-step process to describe. So kind of my process for this one is, this is the same thing that I did with the monk video. I don't think I really did this for the what happened to your hand one, but I went through and kind of, this isn't necessarily a step, but it just helps me to remember it and to have a quick reference. And I know I can't do that for every single one that we have in the future, because they're going to get more long and a lot more complicated. So this is just kind of glossed. Well, it's not even glossed. It's just ASL grammar. It's written out in ASL grammar, so I can reference it and practice my final retell of it with this paper. Especially if a step-by-step thing, because the monk video was also like that. It had a very specified procedural 1, 2, 3 type of narrative. And so with this one, I mentioned in my ASL to English reflection that I'm still struggling with content map. So this is a good example. It's kind of just like this, but a shorter version, and just, introduces himself, says that payroll is the most expensive thing in American business, and then proceeds to explain all of the steps. And for me, color, A, makes it pretty, but also is a very practical tool for me to help me organize stuff. I think I've used it with all of my content maps, pretty much except for maybe the very first one. So this one, the SLFs were definitely the hardest, like I mentioned before, because noticing the things, in knowing the difference between just interpreting it and a salient linguistic feature. So a few examples of the one that I did for this assignment, the salient linguistic feature that I did for this assignment. One of them that I referenced a few times was his transitions, and I love that you pointed out to me on the phone about strong or powerful versus not powerful language, because this guy definitely needs to get himself some powerful language, because he was umming and ming and maybe thinking all over the place in this video. So he used, and not all of them were even about umming or unpowerful language. Some of them were just oh, I thought that it might be a good idea to maybe ask my friend. He used very conversational language, but in a very formal setting. And I say formal as in he was presenting something about how a business runs to an audience. So an example of one of my SLFs that is not a transition one is happy hour hits and everyone is happy is what's said in English. And then for why is this an SLF? I said happy hour hits is in specific reference to a time where alcohol and where people tend to drink alcohol because it's cheaper and hang out with work friends. And so that's a specific reference for something that happens in our culture, which if this video was shown to someone like a kid, because the language that he uses and the description that he uses could easily be description for a child or for a classroom. I don't know why they'd be learning about how payroll works, but hey, people learn weird stuff in school. The reference to happy hour, a child probably would not understand what that means. No, I know from my personal experience in hearing culture as a young adult, I definitely know what happy hour means. I've heard it in many shows and in reference on many menus, eating out and everything. But if I did not have that experience, then I would not know what that meant, except maybe you're happy this hour because you got paid. But that's a very unorthodox English way to say things. I should say untraditional English way to say things. So this one definitely was a little bit of a mind bend. But I enjoyed it. I drew, this was my visualization map. Words are hard. And so I have a stack of money. How do you get the money? And then a timesheet. Then your boss man approves it. Then it goes to accounting. Then into a computer. Why? So you don't get burgled. This is a burglar, in case you're wondering. Alyssa was confused, so I thought I meant to explain. And then this program is a laundry list of stuff, so it's a really, really long list, because this program does a lot of stuff like calculates your tax and your annual leave and stuff, and then you check it once, it gets printed, you check it twice, and you mail it. So I hope that I'm doing these right, because I actually enjoy these quite a lot, drawing it out like this. I feel like I might be missing something, but I'm sure once all my stuff is graded, I will find out. So yeah, and just because it's probably the last one, because the one, I don't know what you're going to watch first, but if you watch this reflection first, then you can enjoy this message first, I guess. I don't know. I've thoroughly enjoyed your class. You have made the subjects, which are very, very hard subjects to grasp, very clear, and you've explained it, and you've made it obvious that you can take time to explain things that your students aren't getting. In class, we went this entire semester with only voicing a few times, which, as someone who still doesn't feel completely fluent in ASL and who still isn't completely fluent in ASL, continuously blows my mind that I have most of my classes in another language. And that's because the teachers make it accessible, and that way we're able to do it that way. So thank you so much for everything this semester. I can't wait to work with you this summer. You've really given me faith in myself and confidence in myself and the program that I can make it through the program. Last semester, as you know, was pretty rocky, and I know I've told this to you and Pauline before, but thank you so much for all the work you've done, and I think I can speak for the cohort here when I say this semester has changed our minds. This semester has been amazing. I'm still scared for summer because people have not been saying great things that give me confidence, total confidence, but it's going to be a new experience. I'm going to be living in Greeley over the summer. I'm going to be here with friends and colleagues, and it'll be great. So thank you so much. I've had an amazing time in your class, and I can't wait to keep working with you.